let's try to see the DMVPN multipoint GRE interface. Now basically I'll be getting into the configurations as we progress with the labs, but here I just want to give an idea. If you have already implemented the GRE protocol, GRE tunnels, basically GREs are point-to-point tunnels. So if you're using GRE tunnels between router 1 and router 2, the configuration goes like this. You create one tunnel interface, and then we generally say tunnel source. Of course you also give IP address. I'm not getting into the complete config. So tunnel source, the tunnel source means it starts from here. You can either give the interface IP, or you can interface name or interface IP, and then you need to specify where the tunnel ends, the endpoint. So I want the tunnel to end on the router 2, so we generally use a command called tunnel destination, and we have to specify the public IP of this peer. Like the tunnel destination, we need to specify 25.002. So that is a public IP what I am using on the router 2. So this is how you generally build the GRE tunnels. But the limitation of this GRE is it is a point-to-point, as I said, because of the tunnel destination command. So in case of multi-point GRE, the difference is we will be using, there's no tunnel destination command. Instead of tunnel destination, we just mentioned that the tunnel mode is a GRE multi-point. So we just need to specify, because we are not sure how many multi-point connections I'm going to establish in here in DMVPN. So basically this command is not there. So if you compare GRE in the multi-point GRE options, and one more thing is if you're using GRE, basically this public IP must be static public IP. If that public IP changes, basically the tunnel is not going to work. But in multi-point GRE, the remote site can have a public IP. Of course, it will register itself with the help of NHRP protocol. Of course, NHRP will help to figure out the remote sites. But basically here, the advantage of the multi-point GRE is we don't need tunnel destination command. Instead, we'll be using tunnel mode command. So there's no tunnel destination command used here. And of course, the opposite sides you can configure GRE as well. So you can still configure GRE here depending upon the phases. I'll talk about more on this in the DMVPN phases. But the opposite side you can configure as a multi-point GRE or GRE. If you configure GRE means simple. You have tunnel destination command. Remember that. You can have only point-to-point connections. If I am using multi-point GRE, then I can have multiple connections like this, multi-point connections. So the opposite end you can still can be like GRE or multi-point GRE. And of course the mapping of the sites dynamically is done with the help of NHRP protocol.